Hey, everybody. Sorry I didn't come with a filtered podcast. It is Tuesday, November 11th, 2021. And I am on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and anywhere you get your podcasts. So let's dive it in. So week 12 has come. So, week 11 has passed. So last night, yes, I was correct. The Buccaneers did win. Now, diving into what I was going to say yesterday, you got a lot of playoff implication games coming this week and possibly in the next few weeks, or the next, 6 weeks here. We're rolling in, and right now, you got the believe it's American Thanksgiving on Thursday. Let me see. Yeah, so Thursday. And, again, it's going to come down to this Thursday's games for the Cowboys already can lock up their division. The Bills, it's coming down to where the Bills need to really push one out of their freaking asses to do something. And to me, they're not doing much. They're just sitting around, scratching their buttholes, doing shit, scratching their asses. And it's not going to be in their favor if they sit around and do that for much more longer. Something's got to pull out, something's got to change, something's got to do something for that team to just start winning. Because, honestly, the Thursday games are part of the whole Thanksgiving thing. You got 3 of them. I have a funny feeling the Bears will beat the Detroit Lions. They're saying the Cowboys over the Raiders. This might be an upset game if the Raiders somehow pull one out, because that means they're just going to be back into the playoff picture. Same as the Saints, they'll be pulled back into the playoff picture. Just how things are stacking up, I'll head over to the NFC first. The Cowboys are the number 1 seed in that group, and the Saints, if they pull off a win over the Bills, they'll be second. They'll stay second, but they're on a 3-game losing streak. To look at how some teams stack up with each other, the Raiders are 5-5. So if they play spoiler to the Cowboys, the Raiders are going to, catch up on the Chargers here and the Chiefs, even though the Chiefs are number 1 seed in the AFC West. With that being said, these games are very crucial to the playoffs. And I understand the playoffs are going to be a very thing. I'll go over it. It's a very hard thing to do, but I'll go over what I can see here. So your Sunday games, you basically got the Falcons versus Jaguars, Jets versus Texans. You got 4 teams that are pretty much out of the picture of the playoffs. You got the Titans. Sorry. Damn, that weed fucking went down the wrong pipe last night. Holy shit. You have a pivotal game between the Titans and the Patriots. You have the Eagles versus the Giants, who are pretty much out of the playoffs. You got the Steelers and the Bengals. You got the Buccaneers and the Colts, which again is another one of those playoff implication games. Panthers versus the Dolphins. I can't really say too much on that one. Chargers versus the Broncos is another kind of playoff implications. Vikings and Niners, same thing. The Rams and Packers are another one. And then you got the Browns and the Ravens in the Sunday nighter. There's a lot of games this weekend that are having playoff implications. And to tell you honest truth, I'm not going to do my picks until later this week. Probably Friday I'll do my picks, because I know a lot of the U.S. is having their Thanksgiving and all that, so I'll probably not have a Thursday show. So, yeah, Friday I will do the picks and the fantasy football picks and that. But as I look at it, this is a week that is coming down to like week 13 where, you know, you got implications on both grounds, you know, and like you start your week 13 with the Cowboys and Saints. The Cowboys play the Thursday game, this Thursday's game, so they have almost an entire week off. So they have their bye week kind of weekend thing. And then I go and look into the other games, and it's not that unreasonable to believe that, you know, the next Monday nighter, it's the Bills and the Patriots. Where the Bills and the Patriots are fighting it out in their conference in the AFC East. So next Monday is going to be a pretty hard game to go against. I don't really see much or the following Monday, I mean, of any games that are bigger than that. It's the Bills versus Patriots, you know, because you got the Dolphins and the Jets pretty much out. Even though the Dolphins are on a 3-game winning streak, the Patriots are on a 5-game winning streak, the Jets are out. They're done. So I'll jump back to that after. On that, I will cover that a little more in a bit. So NHL, as I said, my picks were pretty much slightly correct. So I picked the Blue Jackets. I did say the Knights over the Blues, but the Knights lost. Predators beat the Ducks. I thought the Jets were going to beat the Penguins, but I was misly corrected on that one. Miscorrected or incorrect, whatever. I'm having a Tuesday freaking episode with my brain right now, so it's up my ass. The Avalanche, of course, beat the Senators, and the Sharks beat the Hurricanes. So I was kind of not 100% right on that one. So tonight's games, you got the Flyers versus the Lightning, Oilers versus the Stars, Blackhawks versus the Flames, which, you know, okay, my prediction, Lightning over the Flyers, Oilers over the Stars, and Flames over the Blackhawks. Not just because of the winning records, just how I can see it right now. But last night's games in the NBA, let's see how those went down. Ooh. So, the Timberwolves, I was right over the Pelicans. The Pacers beat the Bulls. That's a surprise to me. The Bucks, I knew was going to beat the Magic. The Suns beat the Spurs. The Grizzlies edged out the Jazz by 1 point. And the Philadelphia 76ers beat on the Kings. So I knew that was going to happen. Oh, and the Hawks. Oh, the Hornets beat the Wizards. I was kind of leaning toward... I was saying I hope the Hornets, but I knew the Wizards might have won it, but it was the Hornets. The Hawks beat the Thunder. And the Celtics did beat the Rockets last night. So that's all pretty good on my end on that front. So I'm very, very happy. So tonight's games in the NBA, you got the Heat versus Pistons. I'm taking the Heat. Lakers versus the Knicks will probably be without LeBron. LeBron was suspended for 1 game, so I think that's LeBron's first suspension of his entire career, I believe. But the Knicks are a good team. I would say Knicks are at home. It's in MSG. It's in the Sports Mecca Arena. I would have to say... I'd say the Lakers on that one. Nuggets versus Trailblazers, that's a pretty hard one to call. Because if Dame shows up, and Jamal. Yeah, I'll say the Trailblazers and the Clippers over the Mavericks. That's what I'm saying tonight. That is my predictions. So I've been kind of dealing again with a little bit of the mental health issues. Had a bit of an episode last night, so I had to smoke some weed just to get my brain back to normal. Because my brain is effing. I go through different emotions each time, and as Christmas is rolling around, it sucks. It is not like the best formula for me to do anything. It's like one of those shitty times of the year. Especially when it comes to me. I'm not like the gracious of gracious people. I'm just a flat out idiot. But I do deal with it in a way that I know how. Like I can somehow control my sometimes control the emotional part of me. Most of the time it gets the best of me. But again, it is what I have to do. It's not the easiest road. But everybody keeps asking me, oh, how can so-and-so be better, doing it than you are? I'm like, well, that's just, my life is a shithole of shitholes. I'm probably, like, out of everybody I've known that has had to deal with mental health, I'm not one that is very good at dealing with it. So, again, I'm probably the worst of the worst. I've done my fair share of stupidity on that front. And I'll dive in a little bit more on that after here, just because I'm all over the freaking place. Anyways, pro wrestling. Last night I was watching AEW and shit, or WWE, and that just, you know what? I noticed something with WWE. It's not the stuff I used to grow up on. It's really like, it's pitiful. It is literally the most pitiful shows going on right now. I don't know how they could possibly fix their situation that they're in, because their situation has become more and more dangerous to their own being. If you want to say, it's not their strongest abilities. Show itself, it was a crap show. It was a crapshoot of a show. It wasn't the best show that they've put on lately. I know Austin Theory had his championship title opportunity last night, which to me is, banging down desperation for somebody. Is banging down, sorry, that was just somebody calling. Desperation, excess of, it was just not, it wasn't something that I could have said I pride myself watching. It was one of the worst Raw episodes I've probably seen in pretty much in a few years. Again, with Raw being the way it is right now, currently sitting at its horrible writing, its horrible character development of superstars, it's just becoming worse and worse every day for me. It's just, pro wrestling was an outlet for me. Now it's more of a a delusional thing, if I could say. It's not the grand spectacle it was when I was growing up. And now, you know, you got AEW, which I can't wait to see this, I believe, Wednesday. I want to see, you know, the fireworks. I want to see these matches. I want to see things go off in air and blah, blah, blah. The pro wrestling dynamic to it hasn't really changed my view of it. You know, WWE is and will be one of the foremost things that I'll always enjoy. I love their events. Don't get me wrong. Like WrestleMania, when I went, it was epic. It was, you know, one of those rock shows that you can't, you know, say too much. You can't say enough about. But now, it's kind of like slapping people in the head with stupid shit. It's one product that is getting to the point of how many people can we slap around, and how many people can we just disrespect? This is the thing. Like when I started noticing and seeing that they're releasing people, it was, you know, people that I actually really liked that could possibly turn that company around when it needed it. But instead, it's slapping the fans across the face, telling the fans that they don't know anything. You know, only the senile old man in the tower of Titan Tower is there. He knows everything. When I watch AEW, Tony Khan doesn't try to slap anybody around. You know, I would love to see him interact a little more on TV, just here and there, like, especially when it comes to the big shows, like All Out or Double or Nothing or Full Gear or something. That'd be cool to see Tony actually emerge from the shadows of backstage and just, you know, have fun. Because you'd probably make a really cool, you know, on-screen persona. Because he's, you know, he's Tony Khan. Not everybody knows Tony Khan just only by, like, his dad or the Jaguars that they own and Tony is his own person, and Tony has a more than larger than life attitude. I love Tony for that. Don't ever get me wrong. I will not disrespect Tony. Tony is one guy that honestly is a smart owner of a company, of a wrestling company. He knows what to give his pupils, his people, and that. And you know what? I love it. When looking at All Elite Wrestling and how they have stacked their roster and how their world title is the main title, but the TNT title, I love how they call their women's title the women's world title. It makes the women feel, you know, like they're up there too with the guys. And I love that. That is, like, you know, appreciation to what they bring to that company and to the sport itself. With that being said, I've seen what Paul Heyman said, and he said, yeah, it's a viable company that can compete with WWE. And he's absolutely correct. To me, I don't know if I could see a Paul Heyman going over to All Elite Wrestling. just for a simple fact of knowing that pro wrestling is, or All Elite Wrestling is a harder company to get. Like, you go there, once you go there, Vince is going to blacklist you. But again, I'm pretty sure that Heyman's been blacklisted enough times by WWE that he doesn't give a damn anymore. So, on that front of that, if people think Lesnar is going to go to All Elite Wrestling, no, we got another thing coming. That guy ain't going nowhere. He's going to stay in WWE like usual. That's because that's his bread and butter. That's his bread and butter. He's a WWE lifer there. And, yeah, he makes more money there. Because Vince pays him the most money to stay. Roman Reigns, I've heard there has been rumblings that he could possibly be jumping to AEW if and when his contract is up. But don't read too much into that because, again, the family lineage is there. Like, the Ananoa family, the Rock's family, the whole Samoan family has been tied into WWE for so many decades that he's going to be there. He's going to be there for at least till he retires. And anybody who wants, Kevin Owens, I think Kevin Owens, either he's going to re-sign his contract or most likely leave WWE in January. And don't be surprised to see him show up at, Double or Nothing or the Casino Battle Royale whenever they do that there at the Double or Nothing. He'll show up. He'll be just another big name, etching his name into what is, I hate to say this, what could possibly be a 2.0 version of WCW in a better version with better roster. Like, you don't have the older gen in that company doing things. You got, a Ring of Honor resurgence. Like, if you're going to want a new Ring of Honor, AEW is where you're at. And all these superstars are understanding that. So, them jumping over there and making it like a reunion kind of thing, it's alright. It's not going to, damper what is going on in that spectrum of it. With, Ring of Honor being out right now, and it's finishing up its last pay-per-view final battle or whatever. I've been seeing a lot of guys taking on the mantle of defending the Ring of Honor titles. I hope Roxy does too, defend her women's world title. While it's, restructuring itself. And that would work in its own favor. As I see other wrestlers, like Jay Lethal signs with All Elite for a reason. I think he would have turned his back on Ring of Honor either way when his contract was up, because it's about money in that industry. It's nothing else. It's only about money. And to go from making what you make in Ring of Honor to going over to AEW and making at least a little more than what you would be making at Ring of Honor, it's worth it. And Jay Lethal, everybody wanted to see in WWE, but he wouldn't be utilized properly there. Just wouldn't be utilized, period. Wrestling itself, like as I've alluded to, WWE has that old man mentality where, Triple H would be the one moving people forward in the future of the company and try to develop all these guys that they just did sign and bring them in. But again, Vince ain't gonna let go. And I can't believe we got stuck with a thing called the golden egg. What the hell is with this golden egg bit? This is what I say. This is why I'm like, I missed that bit, but then I saw it on Instagram and all that, and I was like, okay, what is with this golden egg bit? Get rid of it. Throw it away. I don't care. It's just stupid. So this is kind of why I'm looking forward to what NXT has to offer tonight. And I'm also looking forward to what AEW is going to have tomorrow. And that's my wrestling take for today on that. When I was talking about the NFL, I will talk more about it on Friday, or a little bit more on tomorrow's show, and Friday will be like the whole fantasy thing. It is, when I start looking at sports, it's coming down to the playoff picture. I will explain to you why I see certain teams making it and certain teams not making it that are having, pretty good records right now, but I'll explain that more tomorrow. Mental health is a very serious thing, and don't be afraid to talk to somebody or talk to people that you trust, that you acknowledge, that they'll help you. They'll help you all the way. It is a difficult situation. I tend to be my own worst enemy and my own main villain in my own mind and head. But that's how I see it, and that's how I look at it. I'm doing all right here and there. Like last night, as I said, I had to smoke weed just to sleep, just to shut it off. And man, did that ever work, because I woke up feeling a little more rejuvenated. Not all the best, but still, I'm getting there. It is working. It is hard, but I'm not going to drag on about it. It is, it's a situation that I've dug myself into. As I alluded to earlier, it's emotions, it's feelings, it's a lot of things. When I start thinking I'm doing good, something triggers me and I fall backwards. And it really does suck. It is, it's not one thing I can actually say I enjoy doing. It's one of those hard things to even explain when I'm trying to explain it. But, I'm going to do my best at it. I do my best. I work, my ways around everything. I try to see more of an open picture with my mind. I'm not going to say every day is a pleasantly good day. But, again, I have my moments of where I do have my good days and my bad days. I take them all with a grain of salt and half a dozen of either side. So, it's how I work with it. But, alluding to, it is Christmas and, it's one of those times of the year where it's not just about being lonely or anything. It's about, I'm going through another year. I still don't have a lot to show for it. But, again, I will somehow rebound and know I can make it better. But for today, I will talk to you guys all tomorrow. I'll have a wonderful Tuesday, and I'll see you again tomorrow.